And for this week's Create Your Own, let's check out I just grabbed some Easter eggs from the dollar store with a flat bottom. You can even find, I think they had like little chickies and little rabbits that had little feet on the eggs. But this way they'll stand upright like this, but you want them to be eggs that will separate. So the plastic eggs that separate. You'll need water and Alka-Seltzer.
And go ahead and separate the bottom from the top on the eggs. Next, get your Alka-Seltzer tabs ready.
All right, we're outside, we have space between us, and we have a way to kind of run out of the way if we need to, due to what might happen as a result. Safety goggles will also be helpful. It shouldn't be a huge, but it's always good to be safe. So I just added the water, and I'm outside, as I said, in the driveway. So a little water on the ground is no big deal, right? So the Alka-Seltzer tab, once I put it in, I'm gonna quickly put the lid on and we'll see what happens. Drop. You can hear it doing its thing. Lots of bubble stuff going on. Now that's just one tab, so this is a good trial to see. If your eggs are a little bit smaller, you'll have a different result, I'm sure. And I'm thinking because there's just a little bit of there's a bigger space at the top compared to the bottom. So perhaps we need to up the amount of Alka-Seltzer tabs. So this time in this trial, we shall try for 2 tabs. And since I already have this set up with water, I'm gonna just carefully slide this over and get myself ready. And we're gonna do a little plop, plop, fizz, fizz. You ready? A plop, plop, and a quick lid. Let's see what happens. Oh, this is awesome. Can you see it kind of like floating out? It certainly is something to do outside because it does make a mess. So the lid didn't quite pop off as I had hoped, like a bottle rocket. Perhaps another trial with more Alka-Seltzer tabs will do the trick, but certainly this is a lot of fun. Okay, here we go. We're gonna do another trial, this time with our 3rd egg. We got water in there. And we're gonna try going with more tabs here. Ready? Plop, 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 and a quick. Oh boy. So, even with 4 tabs, we didn't really get the reaction that we wanted, which was kind of like a rocket, but it's the same kind of principle of a rocket, right? And we'll talk about that more in just a bit. In the meanwhile, listening to the fizzing's been quite fun. We tried it with 1, it barely lifted the top. We tried it with 2 tabs, it lifted the top and it oozed out. And here's with 4 tabs, it lifted off and it looks a little bit crooked, right? So I guess it kind of had that force, that thrust of power that forced it up, much like a rocket.
So we saw a lot of fizzing and bubbles with our Easter egg rockets. But what's happening in there? What would cause that top to come off? The magic ingredient? It's made of citric acid and sodium bicarbonate. That makes it a base. And when they're dry and they mix with water, it causes them to react with carbon dioxide, which causes the lifting of the lid. This is the same chemical reaction as baking soda and vinegar being mixed together.
Here we go. I can hear it. It's whistling. It wants to. Oh boy. Is it gonna happen? There's all sorts of gases and everything happening. And I'm wondering if it's the type of seal that's causing it not to pop up like we hope. But all the gases in there should cause it to pop off. And I'd love to hear how yours turned out. You should try it.
Some tips. Make sure when you find your Easter eggs that you're going to use that they don't have holes in them. Obviously, the liquid will not hold. Let's talk about the 4 forces of flight. Lift, thrust, drag, and weight. Just like a frisbee flies through the air, lift holds it up. Let's think about all these different things that are at play as you think about rockets launching to the sky. Let me know what you think. Tell me how your experiment went and tell me all about it on our Instagram page. Can't wait to hear.